Right, there we go. I don't know why it switched. That was weird. But anyway, I'm all alone, just hanging out, looking at the lab racks. And I'm thinking to myself, hmm, I know that one of the things I wanted to check out was the DeskPi site again, deskpi.com. Of course, there's Jeff's big, beautiful face. Right screen, there we go. There's Jeff's big, beautiful face, or was. This guy's got all kinds of interesting stuff for 10-inch racks. And of course, 3D print a lot of it. They have 3D printable files on here. You click on print, and it takes you over to, hey, Dan Adams, good to see you, sir. You click on the print on the DeskPi site, and then they have different things for like an Acer Verton C655 rack mount, Mac Mini holder. I don't have a Mac Mini, so I can't put one of those in there. And then they have the 2 hard drive. It says heading data center rack. When you click on it, of course, you can kind of see it's got 2 looks like hard drive enclosures in there. And then you can drop them in. But it's pretty cool. They got all these different models in here. Oh. Here's an LCD 2004 with fan holder. And then it's got room on the sides for 2 NUCs, Intel NUC. You got your 2 fans, your screen, and the 2 Intel NUCs you can put in there. And it's meant for a 10-inch rack. So it's pretty cool. Clayton, good to see you, man. Hope all's well in Hawaii. How you doing there, Dale, aka Mac_3D? Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, again, the wife is in the house with the oldest daughter tonight. They're just kind of watching movies and stuff. I figured I'd come out here and just hang out because I didn't want to sit in the house and watch Disney movies. So here's the DeskPi Pro Shelf that they offer. I'm not really sure what you would do with it, but it doesn't really have any kind of like crazy. It just tells you that it's a 1U 10-inch, and it says DeskPi Rackmate for the T0, T1, and T2 models. But look, it's just a shelf that you would maybe use for like cable management or something, tuck in some cables. There's the NUC. Here's a KVM switch mount. Cable holder itself. So like here's the cable holders that you could print off and then screw in directly into the sides of their desk racks. So if you happen to go to the DeskPi website, you can check out their different variants. They have the Rackmate T0 and then the T1. You can see Mr. Gearling has several of them decked out in several different ways with several different things. And I believe this one here with the 4 Raspberry Pis, I believe this was in their printed area. Let me go look again. Blank panel. It could be wrong. I thought they had one in here that was for Raspberry Pis. There we go, 2 Raspberry Pi 5 tray. So this one just holds 2 Raspberry Pi 5s, and it looks like they've got a tray area up top to put fans in. And then you can just mount 2 Raspberry Pi 3 or 5, because the 3 and the 5 have the same footprint. But then you can just download the MDF or the 3MF file. Click on raw, downloads it, and then we can click on Orcaslicer here, bring it up, and then we can load this little file here in. I guess I could have just double clicked the file, huh? Instead of being stupid and opening Orcaslicer. Damn, I'm dumb. But so how are you guys doing this evening? There's not gonna be a whole lot to do. It's just a hanging out in the garage kind of a stream. There's the Magneto, which I have an update. The Magneto is working. Let's grab this, go back here, and then drop this here. Look at that, drag and drop. Vertical thickness, ensure, enable, and replace all. Yeah, that's fine. Just do thing. Whoops. Put that back. Let's click back on Orca. Make it full size, and then let's change this and go back to the Peel Poly, Magneto. And then now we can actually kind of like spin it around and look at it and see that it does have what appears to be some kind of a little mount up above it there for something. But I'm not exactly sure what it's for, and it sticks up over the 1U. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but without this part in it, it would be fine to run 2 Raspberry Pis, and you still have room through the center here for cables to come through. So I'm not really sure what it's all about here. Like what this part on the top is actually meant for. Should probably go look. But really, like I said, for what I would want to do, I still got to find a good mount for the Raspberry Pis, because this one is okay. This one is okay, but it's not ideal for what I was looking for. I wanted to be able to get them and be able to access the wires a little better. I did some snooping earlier, and I'm going to do some snooping with you guys here today. So we're going to, let's do a, what, Yagi? Well, let's see something. Let's try Thangs just to see if Thangs will find us at what we're looking for. All right. 10-inch. 10-inch, and then Raspberry Pi. That's a KVM. Raspberry, the Jet KVM. I don't want that. So let's do Raspberry Pi. Let's just do a search for 10-inch Raspberry Pi. This one has the Jet KVM in it. Was impressed with the Adventurer 5. Ordered a second one, which should arrive on Friday. Nice, Dale. Yeah, they're a good printer. They have quirks, like all printers do. So if you order a printer and just expect it to work, especially in that price point, you should expect some quirks. I mean, it's a sub $300 fast Core XY printer. It's going to have quirks. You know, I just wish more people would understand that, but there's a lot of, I paid money, it should just work. They don't understand like the trials and tribulations that came with the 3D printing kits from years ago when you paid $200-300 for a kit, or even like now with those who buy like a Voron kit for, you know, $1,000 plus, and you had to build everything and work through every quirk, you know. Keep one open and enclose the other one. Sounds like a good idea, good sir. Have a nice enclosed one. You could spend a little extra and get the Pro, which is the enclosed version. I think it's another 100 and some bucks more, but there's more fun in enclosing one yourself and making it more your style, you know. 10-inch rack. Raspberry Pi 5. Let's see if we can find something that way. Raspberry Pi 4 2U. I don't want a Raspberry Pi 4. I'm just looking for like simple stuff, and it's just not giving me what I'm looking for here. Part of the reason why, you know, it's part of the reason why I don't necessarily use Thangs, because there's so much, it's looking for so much information. It's bringing me a bunch of what I'm not looking for. Now let's do this. Yagi.com. Oh, give it a minute to verify that I am human. Hey, Havoc. There we go. Now let's look for 10-inch rack Raspberry Pi. And then look at this 10-inch enclosure. Here's a 10-inch rack. Here's the Pi Raid, which is a 10 rack Pi 5 NAS. So there's like a NAS. I'm assuming it's for a 10-inch. Raspberry Pi 10-inch rack hot swappable. Here is, that's a 19-inch one, so that's way bigger than we need. Hey, look, right here, 1U, 3 Raspberry Pis for the lab racks from Michael on Maker World. Look at that, there's one of his models. Again, like I said, Michael's a cool dude. He came up with some cool ideas. And did you guys see the NAS that he did recently? I had talked about it. Let's go to Maker World. I want to show you guys the 4-drive NAS that he came up with. Makerworld.com. And then let's look up, let me see here. Let me see if I can log in. I don't remember if I have anything linked with this account. Oh, look at that. Let's see. I don't, but we're going to create another account on stupid heads. You know what? Forget it. Let's go back. Whoops. Here, let's just look up lab racks. The account's under a different one, and of course now it's going to force my hand because I started it. You know what? Forget it. There. Yeah, I agree. Next. I'm not going to worry about the stupid name. All right. I don't want to get started. Let's just get me to the search. Quit being so damn dumb and forcing my hand into stupid crap. Like, look, there it is. Lab racks. But we're going to go look at K. Clements. And then look at this. Here's the little Pi NAS that he designed. It's 3D printable, has 4 2.5-inch drives that you can pull these out and hot swap them. I didn't want to go to his collections. I want to go to his models. And then here we go. Look at this. Like full-on Raspberry Pi 5, 4-drive NAS. Like all the way deep. It's printed in several parts. And then here's the breakdown of the parts. So like this big old piece here prints as one. This is another piece. Then you got your drive caddies, the internal rail or guide, the 4 doors, and a fan, a couple little washers or spacers. And yeah, all in all, it's a sweet little rig. So I think I am, Havoc. It's just, it's like tomorrow I'm not going to be able to stream, and Thursdays are my normal streams. I didn't stream for the last 2 weeks, so now I stream 3 days in a row. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, I figure I'm just hanging out in the garage, and if nobody else has anything else to do, and there was nobody else currently on, I figured might as well fire up a stream and give everybody somewhere to hang out. I know a lot of people are probably still at work, getting off of work, getting home, getting dinner, spending time with their family. So I don't want to cut into that. But, ifins they got nothing else going on, they want to hang out, they can. Yeah. Tell me what to do. What's going on, GTR Dad? How you doing, bud? Hope you're doing well. Was just checking out, I was just showing everybody the 4-drive NAS that he came up with. It runs a Raspberry Pi 5 and then has like a little controller, and then it runs, let's see here. He's got the guide for it here on his DIY Life. So if you go to the-DIY-life.com, that's his little, his little thing where he puts together all of his tutorials and stuff, his little breakdowns for everything. So you got a Raspberry Pi 5, a Radix or a Radza, Penta SATA hat, yeah. Then SATA extension cable or extensions, 32 gig SD, 4 terabyte Western Digital red NAS drives, 12 volt power supply, 80 millimeter fan, Molex fan connector, M3 brass inserts, 20 of the M3 by 8 button heads, 4 of the M3 by 16 button heads, 2.5 gig adapter is optional. And then his printer that he used was a P1S, so all the parts fit on a P1S or P1S variant. Hakko iron and a power meter. Hello, hello, Miss Keela. Good to see you, dear. But he starts with, kind of going down the line here, guys. He starts with his Raspberry Pi and then the Radza SATA adapter board here, which is, I think, the same one he used in the 2.5 drives. Bad thunderstorm in you or by you there, Paul? Well, we're not too terrible here right now. It's just hot and muggy today. It's real feels like 107. So it's not good out. So I'm hiding in here with the air conditioner. But what I was saying is you got the Radza SATA board here that drops right onto the Pi, on top of the Pi. He did 4 of the Western Digital Reds, the NAS drives. Here's those expanders that he used. Basically plugs into each slot and then comes up. And then here's the whole breakdown with the power, Pi, cooling, all that. Then here's kind of a breakdown of the 3D design. So you've got the big pieces. Here's where the Pi sits. And then when you kind of close everything up. So if you wanted to create a small little NAS, this one's mostly plastic and some hardware, of course. If you guys want to see me build this one, if you guys want to see me make this, I will put together a list of what I need. And if you guys want to purchase said parts, and then when they get here, I'll print all the pieces and we'll build one if you guys want to see that. Bearded Bucket, what's going on, man? Hey, I got to get the, it's been too hot and miserable. I don't have air in my car, so usually I get off of work, I just run straight home. But at some point this week, I'll get a 1x2 and some number 8s, and we'll finally get this little guy assembled here. I just have to figure out for a 19-inch hardware how long I need to make the 1x2s to cut them to be at the right, width across. And then obviously the depth would be kind of at whoever's discretion. So if they were going to put a little bit deeper server rack in there, they'd probably want to make a longer 1x2 to put there. If they're using narrower stuff, they'd probably want to go a little bit smaller, leave a little room to plug in. So, but yeah. We can't see what you're looking at. Oh yeah, that's right, because I forgot to do this. Sorry guys, I kind of put it on myself. But here's his breakdown on his website, the DIYlife.com. He's got the breakdown of all the hardware. So you got the Raspberry Pi 5, the Radza Pentas SATA hat, SATA extension cables, 32 gig SD, and all that other good fun stuff. Here's the kind of like the parts list. Here's the little adapter boards or the adapter cables that connect to the board. And then here's the 3D printed parts kind of as they lay out with the Pi with the hat here. And then he's got these parts printed in such a way that the adapters fit in there, and you just basically mount your or push your drives in, and they've got these little covers that he designed that have like the actual like lift up and pull out, push in and lock down. So it did take 6 plates, he says. It takes 6 plates. He did basic PLA for the enclosure, white for the front panel, and the tray lever text. So, like the lettering on it, he did in white. I don't have a multicolor unit available for those types of things. But here he is kind of showing some basic assembly, putting in heat inserts, showing the way the heat inserts go into the holes here for you to mount the adapters on. Like, see, he's showing, doing stuff, putting things together. Here he is putting the hard drives in the 3D printed cages that he designed. Here he is pushing or screwing in the little lever to pull them in and out. And then here they all are stacked together. Here he is mounting the fan in the rear. So the fan goes in the rear to help kind of, I believe, push or pull air. I don't remember which way he's got it. I think it's pushing air or pulling air through and out the back. He's got a little power adapter here that he uses. But yeah, then he goes through and does kind of like the final. Here's the button for power. Heat inserts again, the final assembly. Here's everything all put together with the screws holding it. And then there's the overall. And again, this thing is all 3D printed and using 3D print design. This is why I like Michael's channel and his stuff. So if you guys aren't following Michael on his channel, you should consider it. He's got a lot of cool projects, and he even goes into depth in here about how to enable the PCIe port. He gives you the breakdown of what, you know, he did, how it all shows up, and then he walks you through using Open Media Vault to set up your NAS and testing the 3.5 with read and write speeds. He did a 2.5 gigahertz adapter in there. Ryan Sharp, what's going on, man? What is going on? Hope you're doing well, good sir. And Ryan, just a little heads up to you. I have that meeting. I mentioned it to you earlier today, but I have that meeting on Friday, and I am going to mention that I would prefer in the future that we continue to use you guys. So hopefully they continue to send the work your way. What is the channel? Oh, not a problem, man. Let me bring it up here real quick. Let's go to YouTube. Whoops, youtube.com/@Michael Clement. Make sure I got the right channel. There we go. There we go. Copy. Viking, what's going on, brother? Michael's channel is amazing. He's got a lot of cool little projects. Like, let me go to his videos here just to give you guys an idea. Michael, if you do ever catch this, please don't ding me for showing your stuff. I'm not going to actually play your videos, but I just want to show everybody your channel and maybe drive maybe 5 or 6 more people your way, because he's already got 104,000. So I don't think he's really hurting. But here's the full-size NAS video that he, you know, this is the recent one he did. He's got this, he did a dual NVMe RGB LED. This is just a case that he's showing off for the Raspberry Pi 5 and lets you put in some NVMEs. Here is the mini PC that has 14-core i9. It's just showing off a Nuckbox K10 review. Here's the B-Link mini PC. So he's got some mini PC stuff. Here's the Ultimate Pi 5 bench. He designed this little 3D bracket that holds the Raspberry Pi and some other boards and stuff, so you can like put it right up on the bench and work with it. This one here, he designed, milled, or CNC'd a water block for the Raspberry Pi 5. Did some Latte Panda stuff, some Zima board stuff. Here's the lab racks. Here's the video on the lab racks from 3 months ago. Here's a tiny 3D printed gaming PC that actually runs Counter-Strike. Here's the this is the one that I actually found his channel with, was the Raspberry Pi Family Planner. And I think I actually even saw the Ultimate Raspberry Pi 5 desktop server one, but hadn't realized it, and then caught this one, and that's when I started kind of going through stuff. But he does all kinds of great content, so everybody should go give him a sub. And if you would, when you go to give him a sub, maybe go to this video right here, you know, this one about the lab racks, and in the comments on that one, just tell him, hey, Maker My Nexus and tag Maker My Nexus and tell him, you know, Maker My Nexus sent me your way. He built one of these on his stream, and guy can't stop raving about how awesome your videos are. You know, tell him you might need to file a restraining order because I'm stalkerish. But no, and then he's got his website. Like I said, he's got this website here where he does a lot of the breakdown stuff for you guys to make it a little bit easier. You know, he's got even like power consumption. He does like all the stats, the heat, does volume testing for you, and then kind of gives you a little outro there to tell you. He tells you, you know, I upload everything to Maker World, Bamboo Lab A1, P1S, and X1C. Come with pre-configured files over on Maker World, and since he has Bamboo Labs printers, he just uses Maker World. It's easier for him in the ecosystem. I get that. I'm not using Bamboo Labs printers, so I have to just bring the files into the slicers and then play around with them. And Viking brother, I hope you're doing well. And yes, Tinker Atlas. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone needs to go sign up on Tinker Atlas. I haven't really done anything to post anything lately on there, but I am on there. I have been liking some of you or friending some of you on there. So please add me on there when you do, and then I will come back around and add you back. But yeah, so I mean, if anybody's interested in just kind of playing around with this stuff, check out Michael's channel. He's got a lot of cool little projects that use Raspberry Pis, mini PCs, and all kinds of other stuff. And a lot of great content on there. I think that since most of us are tinkerers, it'll be, fun for everybody. So go check it out. Give him a follow. Maybe, like I said, click on this video right here from 3 months ago. Drop a little like, hey, Maker My Nexus sent me by. Love the content. He's an idiot. Something like that, But yeah. Hey, look, it even comes up here when I go back to the straight YouTube page. Ha ha ha. But yeah, so you can check out, where's it at here at the top? Let me get back up to the top. I'm just scrolling quickly and making everybody's eyes hurt. But if you go to just the regular website, you can see he's got all kinds of different projects and stuff on there that he's covered and done. So his little desktop thing, the Latte Panda, his test bench, all that stuff. So he puts all that information here on the website too, so you can always check this out too. Let me just drop that. Whoops. Copy and drop it here if you want to go check out that site too. There you go. But yes, Viking, it is looking more and more beautiful every day. If anybody here doesn't know what we're talking about, I know y'all do. tinkeratlas.com. And then here you go. There's directory and all kinds of stuff with different people. Look at all these people that are on here. 5 pages worth of people. Later, Viking, later. But there's that. So it's an awesome little site for people to go and post stuff. I can't remember which account or which email address I used when I signed up. Let's see if it was this one. If not, if it wasn't this one, Viking, nope, it wasn't. Okay, we'll cancel for now. I know I have an account. I'm not going to try and confuse myself with multiple accounts to your site. I got one. It's awesome. Let me go back here for a minute. Let me click on here for a minute. Give me a second, gang. Bear with me. All right. Tinker Atlas. There we go. Let's bring it up now again. Let me go back here. Oh, for crime in Italy. There we go. All right, sorry. There we are. Look, he even has this nice little thing that says, it's great to see you. So he makes you feel welcome. And then, yeah, not a problem, Viking. And then there's like a projects page. Like if you have, like different, the map. Like I said, when you sign up, if you're comfortable doxing yourself, feel free to go all the way down to your address. If you're not comfortable doxing yourself, just pick your general town somewhere in the middle and drop that there. But they have the projects and stuff that people are working on, things that they're doing. You can kind of show it all off. It's a nice little hub. Here's where I posted 1 day ago with the photos of the lab racks and how far it is so far. But you can kind of post stuff. Apparently, yeah, it popped in there twice, but there you go. And like I said, just as people comment and update on stuff, it moves it back to relevance so that people know. And then he's got a nice little, here's what I'm working on. So you got little site news, keeps you informed, lets you know. And what else is there? Oh, printers. You can click on total printers. You can add your printers in to let people know what kind of hardware you're working with. So yeah, like I say, if you want to dox yourself, feel free to dox yourself. Let's see if night mode's any better. I know he was working on this. He told me to quit using night mode the other day when I was playing around with it. He said, don't use night mode. But then here's like notifications. So you get your notifications about who's doing what. Your achievements. He's got a nice little achievement system going. Nice, make it a little gamified. You know, keeps you active, keeps you doing stuff, keeps you working through your progression. So I've only got 10 points for creating my first post. I got 40 points for linking 3 external platforms, and then joining the community got me another 10. So, and then I'm 40% way there on creating 5 posts. So I just have to create a few more posts. And then you got content creator, you get 10 posts. 50, you're the prolific poster. Content master at 100 posts. First comment, leave your first comment, gets you a heart. Oh, I got to leave a comment on something for somebody. I thought I did, but I'll go back and look. I'll leave somebody a comment. I do, Viking. I will spend a day doing stuff. Let's see here. Let's go back to the directory real quick and let's see. Let's go ahead and start friending more people. Let's start making more friends on here. Look at this. Look how easy he makes it to just make friends with somebody. You just click. Let's start making more friends. Let's just, all the friends. There's Havoc. Havoc and I are now friends. Zybertech, uh-oh. He's got a limit. Either a limit or a bug. Let's see. Yeah, it must be a limit. Okay. I can only add a few of you at a time. So I will add more later. But yeah. Yeah, because I only added like 4 or 5, and now it won't let me get Zybertech. See? But there we go. It's okay. You don't want somebody jumping in here and just adding like everyone in one go. That's just, you know, crazy spamming. Let's see. We're on a different page now. Let's see if we can add. Yep, there we go. We got somebody else. Let's see. Got somebody else. Let's get Nappin and Sharon P. There we go. Just going to keep adding people. Like the first 100 people or whatever is on the website. We'll add them all. Let's get them all. Like Pokemon. Got to catch them all. But this is it, guys. It's pretty awesome and it's pretty easy to do. Let's see, can we get Zybertech now? Yep, there we go. All right. Layers with Lily got you. Meat poses. I wonder who meat poses could be. I wonder. All right. And then we got everybody on page 3. Let's go to page 4 now. Oh, yeah, we hit the limit again. Not a problem. We'll get more. We'll give it some time. We'll get some more. Yeah. But that's the nice part about the page developer. Oh, there we go. Nope, that one won't let me get. But let me get this one. And that 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 one. Look, I got Tinker Test. I wonder who Tinker Test could be. Got that one and that one. Huh. It won't let me get Joe. All right, Joe. We'll get you later. Another test. That's all right. Matt's Makerspace. We got Matt. Yep. Not you. There's Pez. Oh, it won't let me get Pezliz. Look at that. Pezliz, I'm trying to add you, dear, but it won't let me. Let's get Nathan. Yeah, got Nathan, though. I wonder if some people have blocked me. Black Label. See, it won't let me get Black Label either. It's like the first one on every page. It won't let me get. Let's see, can I get Petty? Nope, won't let me get Petty. Nope. Happy. I got Happy, though. The first 3 on this one. Oh, there we go. Now I got Happy. I got that one. I got that one. And I got that one. So there we go. Boom. 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 I'm making all the friends. Everyone is going to be my friend. It's the llama. Look at that. The llama. Grubbs test. There we go. Now let's see. Oh, we got, yeah, Black Label did go that time. Let's go back. Let's see. Oh, we got Joe now. For some reason, it did put him in there now. So do we have everybody now? Let's make sure there's no orange. We can't leave any orange behind. Friend everyone. Okay. I just wonder if it was a glitch on the site there. Good question. Let me go see. Let me go find Pezliz again. I think Liz and I were friends now this time. It just, for some reason, it wasn't showing it. It was Liz on page 4. Yep, there she was. Yep, we're friends now. Yeah, so it just, yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but I clicked on it and it kept saying it didn't go. But then when I went to a different page and came back, they were all clicked. So now I am friends with everyone. Everyone who is currently on the page, I am now your friend. And then again, the general map, I'm not going to zoom in because I don't necessarily want to be the doxer of all. Let's scroll down here though, and let's like this post. Give it a love. We gave that one a love. Let's take a look. Tech Jeeper here. Let's give Tech Jeeper let's go ahead and love that. And let's throw a comment on there. And let's just put on here. Looks amazing. Love it. There we go. And we're going to get our comment in there. Boom. There's a comment. We'll give it, well, let's see. Did we get an achievement for making a comment now? Where is it? There it is. Look. Your first comment. We got 10 more XP for that. So there you go. And then what is it? Leave 10 comments. Should we go leave 10 comments and get another achievement? You guys are probably having fun with this, aren't you? Sorry, Lurking Havoc. All good, man. All good. Look, there's a calendar too. So like if you have events, you can add events to the calendar so other people will know. So like if you're doing something, go to like a month view. So like whenever an event comes up, you can kind of do that, have it in here, add your event to the calendar so people will know what's going on, where it's at, and when. So it's pretty sweet place, man. It lets people kind of have like a central hub or a central location to show off their works, like tell people about themselves, let people know where they're at and find more like-minded people in their general vicinity, as well as it's a place to like post about what's going on. So like if there's like small little meetups and stuff, you can have like hey, I'm having a small little meetup on this day at this time at this location. Anybody near there can come. So definitely a cool idea. I'm glad Viking is spearheading this. My big dumb mouth is talking about it. So hopefully that doesn't scare you all away. Hopefully y'all go and sign up if you haven't. I highly recommend it. Pick a home base for your location. Yeah, Bearded Bucket, I wish I had the ability to do that from time to time. Just, you know, it would be fun to have like an RV or a camper, take a couple printers and my internet and just take like a month, just load up the wife and go and just kind of travel around wherever we decide to go. I think it'd be kind of cool. I do have a plan for next summer. Since I now have an assistant at work, my plan for next summer is I'm going to try and use as little days as possible this year so that I have a nice little surplus of days available in July of 26. And then I'm hoping to take a few weeks off of work consecutively and actually kick back, unwind for a few weeks in the month of July. I want to have everything I need done in June, have my assistant set up with a plan, a layout of this is what we're going to do. This is what you're going to be doing next month. And then basically just take like 2 or 3 weeks off in July and just unwind, decompress, push through one more year, and then take almost an entire month off to just decompress and get away from it, and then focus more on me here, this place, possibly even through the month of July, do more work in here, you know, focus more on this, you know. How will they cope without me? Ryan, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll figure it out. I've got a year to train up my assistant. I think he'll be good to go in about a year. So we'll be all right. And the projects over the summer usually aren't too crazy, usually, with the exception of this summer's project that's become a big thorn in my ass. Yours as well. But again, the smart ass in me always wants to say that I've said it once and I'll say it again. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong at the school I work at. Seems to be the place where problems will arise. Ryan, we're just hanging out and talking. We're talking about my buddy Viking's website, Tinker Atlas. I was just showing off to his website. If you go to tinkeratlas.com, it's a website, a community maker, kind of like a maker. It's kind of like a maker everything. You know, you go there, you put in your info, pays by the hour. Yep. But no, you go in there and you go sign up for an account, and then you can post like projects you're working on. It doesn't have to be 3D printing related. It's for makers, tinkerers of all kinds. But post the projects you're working on. Put like a general location where you're at, as far as close as you would like to get. If you want to dox yourself, feel free. But yeah, and it's a cool little site. There's even like a little calendar area where people can post events and stuff and see. You know, if there's like little events going on, little pop-up events, you can put it on the calendar. And if somebody's close to that area and wants to attend, they can see it on the calendar, and then they'd be able to come and hang out. So, you know, it's a cool little space for everyone. So tinkeratlas.com, go check it out. Viking's been working on it for a while, and I was not part of the beta, but that's because I'm an idiot with so much crap going on. I can't provide like proper feedback. That's a me issue. Brian Farmer, how the hell you been, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But what do you think, guys? The Lab Racks thing was pretty sweet. Tinker Atlas is pretty sweet. Michael Clements's website, YouTube channel is pretty awesome. He's got lots of cool, awesome stuff. You're still in beta. Okay, so I guess I am part of the beta, and we just live showed a bug that he is working on. So. But yeah, I'm still, okay, so yeah, I am part of the beta. And anybody who joins right now, the site's in beta, so you are part of the beta test. So join the site, become part of the beta test. Find bugs, let Viking know. Viking will work on bugs. Yes. Let's go see. Let's go look and see if you're in the directory now. Let's do a search. I don't see you in the search, at least not by Ryan, I don't. So, it probably had a glitch. So, Viking, yeah, there you go. There's a potential glitch. But back to what I was going to try and tell you guys. What I'm looking for the Raspberry Pis here is I'm looking for, I saw it somewhere, I can't remember where the hell it was, but I saw one where like the Raspberry Pis mount, and then next to it, it has a slot for the HDMI to plug into the front. So if you wanted to plug in a monitor to it, you can plug right into the front. So you get little HDMI extension cables to connect. And then there was something else. I don't remember what it was, but another thing that would be kind of cool is if there was a slot for the SD cards to go in the front here instead of in the back. So if you ever had to flip-flop it, Mr. McMuffin Jr., huh? Let's see. MR. Nope. Nope. Don't see it in there. Don't see it in there. And it's listing by recently joined. Let's reload the page. Yep, nope. Yep, there we go. Anyway, yes. So Ryan, yeah, thanks for doing that. Oh wait, I got a message here. It's from Da Vinci. Da Vinci, are you lurking in the stream? Just saying, like, didn't you say something earlier? I thought you were chatting in stream earlier. I think Da Vinci is lurking. Nope, I guess not. He must be just lurking on the stream. Hi, Da Vinci. But yeah, I can see where the dark mode has, some issues maybe still. It doesn't, yeah, because when you flip it to dark mode on the messaging, it basically takes all the black text and makes it white, and then it doesn't change the backgrounds of nothing. You're in. Sweet. Let me go reload and see. I don't see you there yet. All right, well, you're in the site. It might take a minute for the database to pull you into the recently added. I don't know how that part works, but you're in. There you go. But like I said, remember, this is just a beta website that he's working on. So features, things like that are all being added. As you do things, work on stuff, people post it here so they can kind of help grow the site and grow more interest. So the site will grow as we use it. So use it. I do need to get the app. But at some point, I want to do something similar to like what he's got going on here with Tinker Atlas with the printer rehab website. Get something like this kind of going with that. But I have a friend, Mr. Zambu2, who is helping with hosting. So really, it's just a matter of getting it going and then going there. Is that your Geo too? Nice. I'm not on camera, so I'm going to like zoom in and see here. Oh, yeah, because I see that there's somebody in that area now. Let's see. Yep, there's Mr. McMuffin Jr. View profile. Let's go view your profile. Let's follow you. Look at that. You have a follower now, and I'm your first follower. So there you go, Ryan. I am your first follower. 3D Medic Vince, how are you, good sir? I said hi earlier, but I think you popped away and came back, so it's good to see you, man. Boom. Yeah, Mr. McMuffin Jr., I followed you, and then it says, oh, already following the user. It says it's not, I'm not following you, but I am. So there's another buggy bug. It said that I wasn't or I said I was following him. I refreshed the page, and then it says I wasn't. And when I clicked on it, it gave me the error, you're already following him. So, but there you go. And he's not showing up in the search makers, which is funny, but he does come up at the top. But let me search the makers now. Yeah, he still doesn't come up here. So Viking, let me show you. See, if I type it here, it says no results. But if I search up here and I type in Mr. Mick, see, he will come up here. Bam. And then see, I am following him now. So there you go. Look at this. Da Vinci started following me 11 minutes ago. And then the messaging thing. I don't know what Da Vinci might have said again. So let's go back here. I don't want to potentially out anything. He said, I see you. So we can show this. But here, I want to show you something, Viking. This is what I was talking about. Boom. When you click here, if I switch it to dark mode, see all the black text just changes here and around, but it doesn't change this. So, but yeah, so just, yeah, I'm sure you know about that, but you just figure I'd show you. In case anybody else looks, it is a bug. He is working on stuff every day, all the time. So don't give him any crap. Yes, dark mode is not 100% complete. So there you guys know, dark mode is still not 100% complete. So if you're using dark mode, know that certain things may not show up properly. And then this guy right here, whenever you do something, you get this little pop-up right here that tells you, like this tells me create 5 posts. I'm 40% way there, create 3 more posts. So all I have to do is create 3 more posts. I'm not going to create 3 more just crazy ones. It's behind your video, Dan. What's behind my video? Hold on, I lost something. Oh, the achievement notification. Yeah, sorry, it was behind me in the thing. You couldn't see it. But down in the right corner, there's a little arrow that points in. You click it, and it shoots over and tells you. You'll point out every single typo. Yep, Ryan's gonna drive you nuts. Hey, Ryan, just so you know, Maker Viking truly is a Viking. He lives in Norway. He's one of the like OGs. He's more OG than I am in the 3D printing space. Like, he's been a big member of this community for probably 2 years. I think probably 2 years longer than me. I've been in the community since 2019, 2020, somewhere in there, 2019, 2020. So I got like 5 years, going on 6 years in this community. And it's been an amazing place. But I had a thought, guys. If somebody wanted to model a 2U for the Big Tree Tech Pad 5 that could mount it in here, you could mount it off to one side, and then that would leave room over here for something else, you know? Yeah, see, he started February of 2018, and then I started in, I think it was probably mid to late 2019, I think is when I got into the community, and then became more active in 2020 during the lockdown, can't go anywhere, can't do anything days. So, yeah, I think it was in 2019 when I got into 3D printing, and I got my first Ender 3 Pro. So, yeah. That's when you got your TiVo tarantula and ordered your first batch of Ender 3. Ordered a first batch Ender 3 a week or two after. Yep. The Ender 3 Pro was a 2019 drop, if I remember, because that's when I got one, and then I turned around and got a second one from SaneSmart. Still an Ender 3, they just stuck a SaneSmart sticker on it and said, here you go. Uh-oh. What do I got? Let me see here. Nothing. Just a Microsoft, like, alert. Nothing crazy. Oh, tornado, not, yeah, the tornado, not a tarantula. The tornado was way better. Yeah, the TiVo tornado. But no, gang, I really don't know, like, much of what I want to do today. It's kind of a free-for-all of stuff. I do know that I need to, do some things. Play around with some stuff, do some stuff, work on some stuff, play around with some stuff. Let's move this out here for a minute. The camera follow me? Nope, I have it locked. Okay, good. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the other end of a plug because I'm thinking, there we go. I'm thinking that because right now I don't have PoE hats and stuff for the pies, I'm thinking that I can maybe, just maybe, do something and see if we can get something working. Let's put this back up real quick. You guys having fun staring at me? Being silly? Let's move this back here again out of the way. Gotta put some more tape on that. Gotta plug this in here. Okay. Let's close this up. Move this stuff back. Hang this back up here. Take the old Prusa plate and set this back out of the way because currently we have the SliceWorks sticky plate. We'll move this guy back a little bit. Plug this back in here. Find that power cord. Where did I drop it? Right here. Okay. Power cord for the switch. Right there. I gotta put some double-sided tape on that. And then this guy, you know what? That's powered off. Let's have some fun. Let's look at the sweet potato and see what is running on the sweet potato and what we can do on the sweet potato. HDMI cable from the, let me see here. We're doing some stuff live, gang. We're doing it live, okay? Just like Bill O'Reilly, we're doing it live. I'm not going to say the other part. I'm trying to save my F-bomb in case the wife comes out. Because y'all know my loving wife. She loves her F-bombs, don't she? She do, she do. Let me see if I can find that HDMI. it goes to this monitor here. So let's grab this, unplug this, tuck this back through. Don't you guys love it when my ADHD takes over and I'm like, we're going to do something. And then I just start going and you guys are like, what the hell is he doing? Ugh. Let me find it. Where did it go? Where did it go? I'm hoping I can find it. Uh-oh. Hold on. Gotta get low. Get low, get low, get low. I have so much random crap under this desk. It ain't even funny. Because I'm going to plug you guys into the capture card so that you guys can see better what's on the screen, and then I'll just look up at the TV above my head. But I got to get both ends of this HDMI out. Plug this in here. Okay, there's that. Let's plug in a patch cable real quick too, because we're going to need one of these. Patch cable, and then let's find the other end of that HDMI cable. I'm pretty sure it's down here on the floor under the desk. So bear with me while I'm climbing around under the desk, trying to convince the boss to give me a raise. That was an inappropriate joke, but it was funny nonetheless. Let's see. Oof. I probably should pull this back out the other side. It would probably be better for me if I do that. Let's see. Guys, don't keep a bunch of crap, okay? It makes your life a whole lot better when you don't have tons of crap. Holy for holy. Wow. There we go. Okay. 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 There we go. Get rid of all this. Put all this back up under here. Get rid of crap, guys. Get rid of crap. Okay. There we go. Now let's plug this in to the adapter. Let's see. What are we tangled up on? A cord. Let's untangle it all the way. So we have all the cable here. Let's go back under here now. And then can we pop up through that hole over there? No, there's too much crap in the way. However, whoops. Let's do this. Up under here, around this way. There we go. There we go. Plug this in here. Whoops, I hit you guys. Sorry. Now let's unplug the capture card. Plug it back in. It lights up. Got to reset the cap card. There we go. And then, for the sake of not knocking this down, is there a way I can temporarily tap this up? There is, but it'll be all right. There we go. You must depart, Ryan. All right, good sir. Have fun. Mr. C-Tunes, how we doing? Good to see you. There we go. All right, let's jump to cap card. And then let's power on. Oh, let's get the keyboard and mouse here. Grab the little Logitech USB adapter so we have mouse and keyboard. Let's power this thing up. And let's see. Oh, I got the TV off. Where is the remote? There it is. Crap everywhere. Yes, definitely. Does the TV come on? Yes. Okay. TV is coming up. Let's make sure the capture card. Oh, no source selected. Huh. It doesn't see the cap card. Hold on a second, guys. Properties. And then, no, it should see the cap card. Deactivate, reactivate, click OK. There we go. All right. So the cap card is active. And then let's unlock this. Oh, no, it's viewed. Unlock. And then let's make it full screen. Yeah, there we go. So this is the capture card, but what I need to know, let's see. There we go. All right, it's running pretty smooth, so I'm wondering which drive am I on? It's running Raspberry Pi OS for Libre computer. Gang, help me out here. In Raspberry Pi, how do I list the drives? How do I list what drives are connected so I know, and also possibly even like which one's the active drive? How do I do that? What do I type? I don't remember. My Linux skills are kind of lacking, all right? I'm not going to lie. I'm not a Linux guy. I can get in and copy and paste code all day long, but I don't remember how to list my drives. Accessories. Let's look at Imager real quick. Dinner time. Choose storage. Okay, so that is mounted, the 32.2, but it shows write protected on those two. It doesn't show the SD card or the eMMC that we plugged into it yesterday, the 16 gig. As an option, it does say that the 16 gig is mounted. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me see here. How to list drives in terminal. Specified various ls blk. Let's see if that does it. It sudo something. Just ls blk. There we go. And then we can see that we can see the 16 gig and we see the, okay, so we see 16.4 gigs, 14.3, and then the SD card is the 28 gig is, okay. Okay, so realistically, TJ, you say do a cat space, whoops, cat space / proc / partitions. Proc partitions, no such directory. It's not sudo cat, is it? Do I have to do a sudo cat, TJ? Sudo cat / oh, did I do proc wrong? Nope. PROC / partition. Oops. Partitions. There we go. Yep, it's sudo. Okay. So there's all the partitions. We've got the partition 1, partition 2, boot 0, boot 1, and then we've got one with part 1 and part 2. And that is on the larger 32 gig SSD. So let's do something. sudo halt. Let's shut it down real quick. I'm going to pull that SD card out of there. Diff. Diff, as in defuck. Okay, power off. Pull the power cord out real quick. I gotta spin this back nut real quick because it's not up high enough because of our man-made spacers yesterday. Okay, there we go. Now let's get this SD card out of here. Maybe. Hold on. Don't squeeze too tight and break the SD card, but squeeze just tight enough to grab the SD card so that you can pull it out of there. This is one of the PNY 32 gigs. Okay, let's see if that eMMC is what we were booting off of. We'll know here momentarily. Once it powers up, look at that. It did. Ta-da. Yeah. And then that is Debian. So on the SD, we had, or on the eMMC, oh, Bearded Bucket taken off. Sorry, man, I missed it. But hey, have fun, Bearded Bucket. Sorry, brother. Hopefully you catch this afterwards and you realize I did acknowledge and I did say have fun. So now this is going to load into straight Debian, which means if I put the SD card back in and it boots off the SD card, we could put a different OS on there. We could. Oh no, there we go. Yeah. It was saying Debian, but it's loading Raspberry Pi. So yeah, I was running off of, let's see here. Yeah, okay. Put that mouse there, put this one over here. So yeah, let's do some updates on this little fella, because we haven't done anything with it as far as I know. Let's see here. Sudo apt update. Updating the package list, and it's running off the eMMC. The Libre boards run better off of the eMMC storage in most cases. Let's see here. We got a index system file download. They have been ignored or old ones used instead. Okay, so there's some old files in there. Let's do a sudo apt upgrade space tick y. Yes, just upgrade everything. Don't ask me, just do it. And then there we go. There's going to be a bunch of stuff to auto remove. So we'll do a sudo apt auto remove. This thing has not been powered up and booted up or used in a while. So there's probably a lot of things that need to be just removed. So we'll do that. But the switch is working, which is cool. I got to put a new end on this cable. So at some point we'll have a day of making cables, and I'll make some little shorty jumper cables instead of having these big, like, 2-footers, I believe, that are unnecessary here. We'll switch to like, I'll just make some custom patch cables that'll just be long enough to reach. I'm probably going to move this up one anyway and have it right up here next to the switch, and then move this down, so I'll have 3 U's for other stuff that I want to add in. I was even thinking about moving this down the switch down and putting the patch panel there, but then I was thinking I could just do a patch panel across here and actually put a patch panel in case we ever add in like a mini PC, micro PC, whatever the hell you want to call it. If we add in one of the little fellas in here, then we can actually run the Ethernet cable up and plug it in, and then from the patch we can go out of the patch and into the switch to get it power that way, or to get it network that way. Make it a little neater, a little cleaner. Or even if like this one for the Netgear had like a keystone jack on both sides would be nice. So maybe have to look into what it would take to put a keystone jack in there. I'm not a design guy, but if somebody wanted to remix this and add a keystone jack on either side, because there is plenty of space in there to add in a keystone jack in the side right here, and put one keystone on both sides, and then I can just snap in some keystones, back it up. But yeah, it's still kind of cool. The only problem is it's a little tight fit. I'm pretty sure if I tried to plug the HDMI into the other two, they would probably argue with me. But that is okay. We can figure it out. Maybe I can find an HDMI 90 to flip it up. Or like I said, we can find something different where there's just 2 Pis in here spaced out a little bit more. Then I can just do 2 and 2 and have 4 of them in here, and have 2 up here, 2 down here, and then still have these 2 spaces for whatever, you know? But there we go. I'm going to do some updates on this. And then I don't know if I actually installed anything 3D printer related on this, or if it was just a clean install. But it's only a 16 gig eMMC on this one. Let me kind of look at all of my other Libre stuff, because I have several Libre boards. Here is the Libre, the Renegade board. Here's a Libre Renegade board we could put in there. This one is the Tritium board. So let's pull the SD card out of this one, and then we should be able to get this out of here now. because there are no screws holding it. So the tritium should just come out. Maybe, there we go. And the tritium does not have an eMMC on it. As you can kind of see there, the eMMC slot, which is right here by my thumb, has nothing in it. The Renegade board does not have an eMMC on it either. We have a Linktree, which is the Fry, which is another small Libre board. This does have a 16 gig eMMC on there for storage because the Linktree does not have an SD card slot. So when installing operating systems, it's either eMMC or you boot off of a USB. So in the case of the Linktree, it just makes sense to get the eMMC storage and just run it off of that for that one. And then this one here is screwed in. This one is the potato. So this is an OG potato. This one does have, I think, a 32 gig in it. So we'll have to take the screws out so we can pull this one out too, because then we could just go nuts and make it like a small little rack of Libre boards. I was pretty sure somewhere I had another Alta board. I'm pretty sure I do somewhere. I have another Alta board because there's an Alta board in the Switchwire and a Solitude board in the Rook. And then somewhere up here, I could have swore I had another Alta board. So somewhere in my garage is another Alta board floating around that we can do something with. And I think that actually has 120 gig eMMC with it. So that one's got 128 gigs, and it's the newer Alta board, which is a bit faster. So getting that one put in there would be nice, especially with 128 gig eMMC on it. It'd be nice because 128 gigs of storage, that's a lot of storage. You know what I mean? Let's pick up some stuff that kind of is all knocked around in here. Don't see it. Let's look back here. I'll have to look through some boxes because it's probably in a box somewhere if it's not out in plain sight. Hey, has anybody got a Raspberry Pi 4 and need a nice aluminum case for it? Because I don't have any Raspberry Pi 4s anymore, and since the Raspberry Pi 4 is the one that they flip-flop the USB and the Ethernet on, I either have 3s or 5s, and those are all, and all the Libre stuff, which is all on the other side. So, yeah. Let's see. Where, oh, where could that be? Let's see, is it in here? No. However, that is an old Ubiquiti camera server. So I have an old Ubiquiti camera server sitting there. Let's see. I know there's a stinking Alta board with 128 gig floating around here somewhere. I just don't know where the heck it went. That sucks because that's a lot of, that could be a lot of fun to put in this thing. 128 gig eMMC. That is Prusa stuff that Sergio sent me. Like all kinds of old parts and stuff for Prusas that Sergio sent my way. So thank you, Sergio. HVAC A to Z, for those who don't know, that would be Sergio. This is irritating. One of these days we're going to have a I'm cleaning the garage stream, and what's going to happen is that box has an O. Yes. I'm going to, at some point one of these days, have like a I'm cleaning the garage stream, and I'm just going to be like, all right, if I don't want it and you do, tell me, and we'll start making boxes for everybody. Here's an FL Sun. This is the old screen and board off of the T1 Pro. And then the ribbon cable that broke for the screen. This is angering me because I want to find that damn... Yeah, that's not it. We already looked in this box. Let's move stuff that we've already looked in backwards so it's out of the way. Oof. Okay. Let's see here. Wow. Controller boards for printers. Lots of different variations. Screens for printers. Ender screens. So much stuff. We're going to start rebuilding some printers at some point and using some of this stuff. Here's stickers and stuff from, I think this was Rocky Mountain. Here's the KB3D inside stickers. Got a bunch of KB3D stickers. So I'm going to have to start sending you guys all stuff and including a bunch of these stickers and stuff from events that I've collected. Send it all to you. So I think that's why I kept it in the box, so that I could have it to ship out when people buy stuff, or I send people stuff just at random. Why can't I find what I'm looking for, right? Why can't I ever find what I'm looking for? Because I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Oh, this is annoying. I got 2 Raspberry Pi 5s, a Libre Alta board with 128 gig eMMC floating around somewhere. Oh. Did I really maybe put it in here and just completely overlook it? Is it in one of these boxes? No, that's all just parts. This is all extruder parts. Thank you, Micro Swiss, for sending me upgrades. Here's some double-sided tape. Here's my DJI Pocket. Oh, it's rebooting, I think, or did it go to sleep because stupid me left it for too long? Yeah, it went to sleep. Okay. Okay. The webcam. Cables for a webcam. However, I did find something that could be useful for this. A RS25-5. 110 in, 5 volts, 5 amp out. Little 5 volt power supply. Could mount in here nicely and then power a couple of devices, maybe. At least one, because it's 5 amp. So it can power up to a Raspberry Pi 5, I believe, because I believe the Raspberry Pi 5 is 5 amp. If I'm wrong, I'm sure the internet will tell me. They do love to tell me I'm wrong, and I love to hear it. Okay. Well, there's another rubber ducky, and I'm not finding it up there. Well, the joys of ADHD, guys, is you get so hyper-focused on something, one thing, the thing, that you kind of ignore everything else, including you guys. And I'm sorry for that. I'm just looking to see if maybe it's back here and I just didn't see it. No. Well, somewhere in here is what I'm looking for. And I will find it. Parts. Hardware. Rook parts. For the Rook we need to finish building. Someday. Someday, one day. Maybe I just dropped a box. Is it in here? No, it's not in this one. Maybe it's in the LDO box underneath. Because it wasn't in this box. This is Prusa parts. Well, I guess we'll stop looking. Because if I don't, I'm going to look all night, and it's going to irritate me when I don't find it. However, I did see something else we can look at. Box has an old pie in it. Box has an old pie in it, yeah. Well, here's something we can look at. It's a Cisco Business Class 220, but that is just too wide for a 10-inch rack. Dadgummit, look at that, just too wide for a 10-inch rack. Wouldn't it be nice if it would work though? Because then I'd have fiber, I'd have some SFP plus module or ports and all kinds of other stuff. And I don't remember, I don't think this one is I could be wrong, considering it's 54 volts and 2.7 amps. I could be wrong, but I don't think, yeah, it is PoE smart switch. Never mind, I take that back. It is an 8-port PoE switch. So, and it is 8 powered ports. So there is 8 powered, I'm sure it's just gigabit, if I remember right. It's not 2.5. Yeah, just gigabit PoE smart switch. So here's this big old gargantuan behemoth. So there's that. If anybody wants to buy it, I'm not selling it. Oh, the printer that you gave me. Yeah, there is a Pi on the back of it. It's right here powered up. And it has a Pi on the back of it. Yeah, buddy. But no, I was looking for the specific piece of hardware, Mr. Adams. I was looking for a specific piece of hardware that I could have swore I had. Because I was pretty sure, and by I mean I am quite certain that somewhere in this cluster of an office of mine is a Libre Alta board with 128 gig eMMC on it that I think would be quite nice to add in here after all. Because I was going through my Libre boards, my collection of Libre hardware. So I know it's around here somewhere. I just don't know like where exactly the heck it went. But I know I have it somewhere. It was up here on the top of the desk for the longest time, and then it apparently got moved around somewhere. And now I can't find it, but I will. Here's a 64 gig. Ooh. Let's put that in there, though, for now. But we will find it. It is not a huge, like, Dan's just overthinking it kind of a thing. Let's move this 32 gig back over here, too, so we don't lose this. I'm going to take these screws out and see if we can pull this sweet potato out of here, or this la potato. Yeah, this one's just a la potato, the 905. And then the sweet potato is just an updated version with USB-C for power. It removes the AV jack off the side and just uses HDMI. And I believe it has a little bit of an upgraded processor too, if I remember right. There we go. Oh, I bumped the ST. I kind of knocked the eMMC off of this because I was kind of popping it a little too hard. But there's a 32 gig eMMC on this potato, which realistically, I could just put this eMMC on the la potato or the sweet potato, and it should just work. It should. Because they all have a very similar, the BIOS and everything on them is similar, so you can just swap them and boot them in most cases. But there is the La Potato with the 32 gig eMMC. So we have a 32 gig eMMC, we have a 16 gig eMMC, and then that's it for eMMCs. But there are 4, 5, 6, 7, And then there is an 8th one floating around here somewhere. There is another Alta board floating around here somewhere. So there's 8. I have 8 Libre boards floating around this office that we could definitely pack in and do some fun Libre stuff. But let's do this real quick. Let's do a sudo apt, whoops, apt auto remove space tac y for yes, and then let it go, and then it should just take out a bunch of unnecessary crap, freeing up a bunch of space. This part might take a while now because there's a lot there. But while it's doing that, I'm going to jump back to here. Hi, guys. So currently, this little guy is running in the rack. The sweet potato here is running in the rack right now, connected up here. I could, in theory, since these are 3B, like a 3B, a 3B plus, I could just flash an ISO to them brand new and then enable SSH and then SSH into both of these, so I won't necessarily have to plug them in, and then we could just SSH in and do updates and stuff, and then figure out what we want to install and run on those. I was thinking that I might do the 2 and 2 and then put a Raspberry Pi 5 in here, and that way I can use the Raspberry Pi 5 as more of a desktop environment for installing like a slicer on there, update the web browser, all that good jazz, and then use that one as more of a desktop environment when I go places, because I have currently a 30-inch a 30-inch monitor back there that my mom thought was broken, but apparently was not. So I can always take that with me on trips and have a nice big 30-inch with the wireless keyboard and mouse, and then plug that into the Raspberry Pi 5, and the Raspberry Pi 5 could be my kind of like my main system, and then the other ones could all run miscellaneous stuff. It would just be a fun thing to have when I go to events and stuff and just set it down, you know. Like I said, if I get to that point where I'm doing like 3D printing, like explaining to people about 3D printers and how they work and what they do, and I have little like things, I can bring this with me and have everything on there ready to go, a little PowerPoint presentation or something like that. Got to make some dinner. Smooth prints, guys. Thank you. Mr. C-Tunes, you have fun, man. Can you install RetroPie or Retro game on Raspberry Pi? Yeah, you can install RetroPie and then have like a little like mobile gaming thing I can take with. So I can always have like RetroPie on one of them to play around with, and then it's just flippy floppy. Give me a KVM switch, like get a little HDMI switch or something. A little KVM switch. I know they got that Jet, the Jet KVM, which is the little thing. But I think the Jet KVM is one per device. I don't know if you can connect multiple devices to that. I don't know. Let's see. We're done with that part. So let's do a sudo apt update again, just to make sure everything is updated. This part I'm going to do without showing you guys. You guys want to watch text on a screen again, so. Sudo apt upgrade again. Let's just see if there's any upgrades after updates. There was nothing. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and exit out of that. And there we go. So this environment is up and running. Like I said, I'm probably going to print something else that I can do the Raspberry Pi 5 in there, and have one of the Raspberry Pi 5s, one of them in there. Put one of the Raspberry Pi 5s in. Have me an awesome little Raspberry Pi 5. So that'll be fun. Sorry, gang, I'm just having a momentary, like, duh moment. Uh, do, 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 do. My arm Pi config. There we go. Get on the right keyboard, stupid. Okay, is it really? Yeah, it is. It's 7 o'clock. Holy crap. I didn't realize it was 7 o'clock already, my time, guys. I forgot I got a late start on the stream tonight. I started after 5 o'clock, so I'm a little confused. I came home from work and spent a little time with the family right after. I for the last couple of days have been having this weird little like outbreak on my arm right here. Don't know what I got into, but got into something. This little outbreak on the arm. Summertime, leaves and things grow, and then I brush up against stuff, and I have such fragile, soft skin. Can install retro game on the Pi. Yeah, we like we just talked about. Yeah, I can do like retro Pi or something on there. But I am thinking we're gonna play around with this Raspberry Pi 5 and see what we can kind of play around with and do. It'd be kind of fun to get it set up as more of like a desktop environment, get Orca Slicer installed on here, get profiles moved over for the printers I currently have, and then as I travel, if I bring a printer with, I can slice files with this and use this to surf the web and all that fun stuff. It's bigger, bulkier, or not bigger and bulkier, it's the same size, but it's got more oomph under the hood, so it makes sense to make this more of like the desktop thing, and then the smaller units can run different smaller applications or something. So do something like that with it. But my Osmo, my DJI Osmo Pocket, whatever the hell it is, that's what this is. I keep forgetting I put it up there, so I need to take it out so that I can remember that I have it. So if I want to go do something with it, I can, you know, wander around and record some video. All right, though, gang. I think I'm losing momentum. Is anybody streaming tonight? Let's go peek and see if there's anyone on the YouTubes that are streaming tonight. My daughters are bouncing around all over the place. Is anyone streaming tonight that I can jump over to, send you guys off to? I don't see anybody. Well, I'll tell you guys what. If you guys after this stream, or if anybody watched this stream all the way through afterwards, thank you first off. Second of all, in the comments below this stream, if you guys could do me a solid, give me ideas of things to run on this for like this little mobile rack that I can take places and do stuff, as well as just like maybe plug it in, power it up here at home and have it running different things that would be useful on my network, you know? So things that would be good for traveling to take with me. Obviously, like I said, the Raspberry Pi 5, I'm going to set that up as more of like a desktop, on-the-go desktop environment that I can work from. Pi-hole. Well, Dan Adams, if I set it up as Pi-hole and take it with me, then it doesn't do me any good when I'm not here if the family's still home, because then I take the Pi-hole with me. I can still set one of them up with Pi-hole on it and then leave it on my home network. So again, I've got multiple devices. We can definitely install Pi-hole. I'll see if we can do something with Pi-hole in one of the Libre boards. I'll have to see, because I know it's just something that runs in PiOS, and you can install PiOS on it. So I wonder if, I say PiOS, but it's Raspbian or Raspberry Pi or Raspbian, whatever the hell it is, Raspbian, Raspberry Pi OS, whatever the hell they're calling it these days. I know there's ISOs for these, so maybe one of these we can just set up, and then I can make a little 19-inch rack mount, because I've got a 19-inch rack above my head, and I got another 19-inch rack that I need to mount in my house, and then put the other older Ubiquiti switch that I have in the house. You can see the Ubiquiti switch right there. So I got to get that ubiquity switch mounted in the house. The rack is underneath it. It's sitting on top of it. And then I have a really long, like, fiber cable that I want to run from the house to the garage. So I have a nice fiber backbone from the house to the garage. It'll do gigabit from end to end. Unless I can find some 10 gig or 2.5 gig SFP plus modules that I could plug in. That'd be kind of cool. You know? Camera on Raspberry Pi, or camera on Raspberry Pi on. Well, yeah, like I said, guys, put the stuff in the comments below this one so that I can go back and reference it and I won't have to like try and go back in the chat and find it. So just list it in the comments below and I can just go to the comments in this video and find ideas. And then who knows, maybe the next stream will set up one of these and get it set up with stuff you guys suggested. So, but that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and kind of wrap this thing up. I don't see anybody streaming right now. If anybody knows of somebody else that's streaming, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to wrap this thing up and we will, we'll chit chat another time. Not tomorrow. I got volleyball tomorrow night for my daughter. She's playing against my employer tomorrow night. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun because it's always family before paycheck. So I'm always rooting for my daughter. I'm always like, go, you know, go Olivia, go. So, but it's always fun to see, you know, that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out. Thanks for spending an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half of your evening with me tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. The usual, stay out of trouble, stay out of jail, happy 3D printing and all those things. And don't forget, an old printer is better than no printer. And go to Michael's YouTube channel and tell him I said, hey, what's up? And there you go. Bye, guys. Love y'all.